lovely evening.
Beautiful.
And we're going to turn right, sir.
Take the next road on the right, please. Okay, once more time. How would you identify there's a...
Oh, these houses facing me and cars flashing past, innit?
Good. What else?
Sometimes I see road markings.
Good. Okay.
And at the end of the road, we're going to turn left.
At the end of the road, we're going to turn left. So follow your normal routine. Okay. Okay. What I would like you to do is follow the edge of the curb in the bottom left-hand corner of your...
Yeah, just talk me into it.
Okay. Stay towards me. More, and stop. Now where the curb appears on the front window.
Oh, the curb of the new road?
Yes.
Just by the tax disc.
Good. That's your reference point.
Yeah. And why is that important, Tony?
But why is it important, Tony?
Oh, if I'm too straight, Abdu, there could be a car behind me and they might come down the inside of me.
Okay.
And as I got to turn, I could hit them.
Yeah.
I suppose I go very wide anyway, wouldn't I?
Good. Yes.
Yeah?
That's true. That's a very good point. Because when you start joining the new road, yeah, you might drift towards the right side.
Yeah.
So by keeping this position, you will follow the corner of the curb and you will stay on your side of the lane.
That's it.
Okay.
Well then. Yes, on the next one now, Tony, I want you to... I'm just going to watch you, yeah?
Okay, Johnny. At the next junction, I'm just going to
left.
watch you. Can you talk about the other hazards in this road, bend, park cars, etc.?
Not if it's
Or
emergency.
stick to the subject matter?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they'll be able to handle this, no problem, yeah?
Okay.
With rail airness, yes, you would.
Yes.
Yeah, so anything to do with junctions is going to be the mirror, signal, position, speed, look, routine.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
If you start bringing up other subjects, it's just going to open a can of worms, isn't it? And we're going to turn left.
At the T-junction, turn left, please.
So I've got to just do it to me, do it to you, do it to you.
That is excellent.
And just once more, Tony, where does the
Okay.
where's the straight bit of curb of that road?
Where the curb appears on your door window?
I just need that tax disc.
Good. Excellent. And why is it important to have that position?
If I was very straight, somebody could come down the inside of me and hit me. And if I was very straight here, I'd have a great big problem because I'd be going out straight into the road.
Excellent.
Right at the pat of that bam, wouldn't I?
Good.
Yeah?
Good.
So I'm happy you got that, Tony, so I'm going to hand that back to you and I'll keep an eye on it, yeah?
Okay, Tony, I'm happy with that, and I'm going to leave it to you, and we'll keep an eye on it.
Right. Does that make sense?
It does. Absolutely.
I'll pull over in a second, I'll explain it to you.
Okay, find me a safe place in the left of the and stop.
Yeah, I'll turn off on the government main road. And the crossroads, we're going to be turning left.
At the crossroad, turn left, please.
And I'll stop on the left just past this bit.
Just pull up on the left, just past this car.
Should I get off here?
Just by the tree.
I'll just clear the other road.
Okay. Now, I've got slight confusion here. Let's say, for example, part 3, T-junctions.
Yeah.
Yeah? The people must have done approaching junctions to turn left and right.
Yep.
Okay? Now, he should be quite familiar with the road positioning because we already taught him, like turning left. follow the edge of the curb in the bottom left-hand corner of the door.
Yeah, so you're talking about part 3, yeah?
Yeah, part
Yeah.
3, phase 1.
Phase 1 or phase 2?
Phase 1.
Well, phase 1 you'd be talking...
Okay, let me get the link. Okay, Tony, today we're going to do the T-junctions, emerging junctions, to
Yeah.
turn left and right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you do in your last lesson?
Well, have I ever used the mirror signal position speed look routine? That would be the way you approach the...
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, what did you do in your last lesson, previous lessons?
Well, if you were to ask the SE that question, he'd, because it's a very open question, they have got the option of coming back and saying, well, oh, I've done a turn in the road.
Okay.
But
In that case, I will say, well, have you done approaching junctions to turn left and right from major into minor?
Yeah, so why do you want to go around the houses?
I can link some
Well,
good stuff.
why not ask a close question?
Okay then.
Tony, have you ever used the mirror signal position speed look routine before?
But we used that on a roundabout, so this is not what I want you to say. I want you to say that you've done approaching junctions to turn left and right. Because that's the previous subject, isn't it?
Right, so your PDI turns up at the test centre,
Yes.
and the subject for phase 1 is emerging T-junctions.
Okay.
Yeah? Your PDI has got to give a brief in the car park. Yeah? They have to try and make some link.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Is what, yeah.
Yeah, so to do emerging, the examiner would have had to have done left and right hand turns before, yeah?
That's it, there you go.
Right, yeah, but but you can't just your PDI can't just assume the examiner's done emerging done left and right hand turns before.
But at least we can ask them.
Yeah, but if you look at...
Because, Tony, the reason I'm asking this is because we've already covered a lot of stuff about the position. Let's say, when you turn from major into minor road, yeah, when you turn left, you follow the contour of the curb. And then we can link this to T-junction turning left, isn't it? Okay, on the other hand, when you're turning right from major into minor road, if there is a centre line, you've already done it till you reach the point of turn, isn't it? So we can link those positioning rather than teaching them from... The examiner might say, oh yeah, I've done this before, unless he does a mistake.
Yeah, but you have to remember, you're trying to get the brief to flow fluently. And you don't really want to be putting your PDI in a situation where they're going around the houses to get a very straightforward answer from the examiner. So the best way, anything to do with junctions, have you ever used the mirror signal position speed look routine before?
Okay.
It's a closed down question, isn't it? The answer has got to be yes.
Okay, let's say for example the examiner says, yes, I've done the MSPSL routine.
Yeah.
So how would you link that?
Well, let's just say we're doing emerging today.
Okay.
And oh yeah, I used the MSPSL last week. We had a go at turning left and turning right.
Good.
Yeah?
So now you've done it. Okay. Now.
Oh, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Yeah, you've made a link.
Yes.
But don't expect that link to lead to him knowing the MSPSL.
Okay then. Let me link. Yeah. You agree with me now? You've done approaching junctions to the left.
Well, it's not a matter of me agreeing with you or disagreeing with you. I have to just let you know the way the SE will play it. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a partly trained pupil, and you have made a link with him that last week he did use the MSPSL routine on approach to left and right hand turns.
Good.
But he'll probably make it very clear to you that he's only got a very, very slight understanding of it, yeah?
Of course, that's
Yeah.
even natural.
So he won't link the turning left mirrors and the turning left signal and the turning left position with what he done last week until he hears the PDI talking through it at least once.
Okay.
Yeah? So yes, he has used the mirrors before on the last lesson. He has used the signal on the last lesson. and he has probably got position for left to centre on the last lesson, but he's not going to do it until he hears you talking through it, yeah?
Okay, I understand.
In other words, the what, why, how, because don't forget, you weren't there when he done the left and right hand turns last week, yeah? And even when, you know, I saw what happened just this week, when he was asking questions, when the PDI was asking questions, well, when you were turning left last week, Mark, you know, what mirrors did you check? He goes, oh, left mirror and middle mirror. So in other words, he's giving a lifeline. You know, don't come up to the junction and say to me what mirrors you're going to check, because the car's getting very close to the junction at that stage, and he's probably going to come back with the wrong answers, and then you're getting closer and closer. So now your PDR is fighting to control the situation. The emerge is right on top of them, and they're now in a situation where they just asked the examiner what mirrors he's going to check, and he's given the wrong answer. So the better way for your PDI to approach it is to come in and say, right, as the merge ahead, we're going to turn left, check your middle mirror, which you probably won't do. Come on, check. Check your left mirror. May have to push them to do it again. They need to start controlling the car then, because now they're probably only about 8-9 car lengths away from the emerge, yeah? Pop the signal on now. This is about 6-7 car lengths. But now they've got to start controlling the speed, and make sure the examiner stops without encroaching the white line, yeah?
Okay.
That makes sense?
It does, yeah.
Then if the first emerge and there's nobody behind you, they can then start giving the education. Right, so on approach to that emerge, Mark, we check the middle mirror first for distance and speed. We've checked the left-hand door mirror to see if any cyclists are there. If there was a cyclist there and he'd already committed himself to coming down the inside, well, we wouldn't pop the signal on, because if we did, we'd probably frighten him. He'd probably jam his brakes on. He'd probably end up rolling underneath the car, yeah? We're going to kill him. If the cyclist was behind the car and we had the signal running, we certainly wouldn't attempt a turn in front of the cyclist, because we're going to squash him. Yeah, the reason why we indicated 6-7 car lengths away is to give everybody around us time to react. But it's not cast in stone. There will be occasions where we may have to delay the signal, because there could be a road before the emerge, and there could be a car waiting to turn out of that road. And if we put the indicator on too early, that car might think we're turning into that road and pull out in front of us. The consequence could be that they may hit us or we may hit them, yeah? So this can all happen at the first emerge if there's nobody behind you.
Okay.
Then if there's still nobody behind you, you can then actually start going into the bits he's never done before. Right, you can see here, Mark, where I've stopped you. Can you tell me where does the giveaway line cut into the car? Oh, underneath the store mirror. Well, that's your reference point for not encroaching over the white line, because if you do encroach over the white line and there's a car coming from the right, it may well swerve round us and go head on into the car coming towards us from the left, yeah?
Okay, let me stop you here 1 second.
Yeah.
If there is no car behind us,
yeah,
we can stop there
we
and
can
talk about this.
It's education, isn't it?
Education, yeah.
Yeah.
If there is any car, so do we give the instruction where to stop, or?
Yeah, at phase 1,
Yes.
the examiner wouldn't know where to stop at the giveaway line, would he?
He will.
He won't.
Yeah.
How would he? He's never done a subject before.
Yeah. So I
Yeah?
have to ask him to stop where I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you stop him in the wrong place, then obviously there's no point in picking the reference point up, because the reference point is going to be wrong all the way through
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
through the subject, yeah? So it's up to the PDI to make sure that they get them into the right position. So it's very important for the PDI to be able to pick the reference point from that seat, yeah?
Okay.
To talk the examiner into the position, yeah? That make sense?
It does, yeah.
Yes, you got to remember, anything to do with a new subject, it's a new subject, isn't it? But he has done bits of the subject before, last week on the left and right hand turns, and he will be quite willing to take a prompt off you once you've talked through the mirrors, the signal, which is similar to what he's done last week. And then on the next one, you could say, right, there's a merge coming up, returning left. What mirror is he going to check? Oh, middle and left. But it would still be important for the PDI to watch the examiner to make sure that he does do the middle and left. And if he doesn't, come on, check then.
Because normally they just say centre left, but they don't check it, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, initially, on the first couple of ones, yeah, they are going to not check. Especially if they know the PDI is not watching them. And obviously, if the PDI is not watching them on the first few emerges, and they don't notice the examiner's not checking them, well, what's going to happen for the rest of the 22 minutes of the PST?
Missing mirrors.
Yeah. Yeah, so the PDI at the end of it is going to think, I've done a good job there. But the examiner's going to have to break the news to them, well, you didn't. I never checked the mirrors once. That make sense?
It does, yeah.
Yeah? But once they know that the examiner, once the examiner realises that the PDI is watching them, and they are going, yeah, come on, Mark, there's no good talking the talk without walking the walk. Check. And quite often they will actually get them on the middle mirror, but then don't watch him on the left mirror, and he won't do it. Yeah? Yeah, so he knows you're not watching him.
Of course.
But there again, once he sees on the first couple of merges, well, right, this guy's on the ball. Yeah? He knows I haven't looked at him. He's made me look at him. Well, then he'll start to back off. There's not much point in pushing it all the way through the PST, because he knows that you know. So then you're just left with the emerge to teach. The speed on approach, the position where to stop, the importance of stopping, and the look routine. So again, if there's nobody behind you, right, so we need a way of working out, if we've got a car coming from our right, how do we know that we've got time to emerge in front of that car without making it slow, stop or swerve? Well, then it's the walk across, walk back again routine, yeah? So we can emerge out in front of that car and don't force it to do the slow, stop or swerve, then it's safe to drive it. If we were turning right at the emerge and the car was coming from the right, then we're only crossing the path of the car, aren't we? So therefore it would be the walk across routine. And again, it would be very important to come in at the end, and the reason why we need to do that is that we don't force the car to slow, stop or swerve, yeah? So it's no good just saying, if you've got a car coming from your right, you need to be able to walk from here to there, because that's not really explaining it properly, and no learning's taken place. They need to know that the reason for that is so we don't force that vehicle. It's like the consequences.
In other words, impeding their progress.
Yeah? And then obviously as the lesson progresses on, then a little bit of prompting can take place. They're never going to pass the whole thing over in the short time you've got. You know, but I mean, it would be, you'd be prompted quite quickly on what mirrors you're going to check, where you're going to indicate. After about the third or fourth junction, how are you going to judge where to stop with this giveaway line? Oh, that reference point. Yeah. Yeah. So once they actually get to the reference point, stop it in the right place. If there's nobody behind you, again, just ask them. Why is it important to stop there? What's the consequences of stopping over the white line? What's the consequence of stopping too far back from the white line? Can't see. Car behind is going to get confused. May well overtake me, thinks I've just left my indicator on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It does.
So it's on the brief. It's very important to try and encourage your PDI to be very direct. You don't really want to be sitting in the car park for 8, 9, 10 minutes. You know, so you need to kind of make a link with what they've done previously, yeah. Okay. And if you ask them a very open question, excuse me, if you ask them a very open question, what did you do in your last lesson? They're going to give you a little bit of a slap by saying, oh, turn in the road. Well, pick the bones out of that. Where are you going to go with that? Nowhere. Because they know that you should have been trained to ask a more of a closed question. because anything to do with junctions is mirror, signal, position, speed, look routine. So your question should be based around that. Well, have you ever used this mirror, signal, position, speed, look routine before, yeah? The answer's got to be yes. Because how could they ask you to teach them to emerge if they've never done left and right hand turns before?
That's true.
Yeah, that makes sense?
Would it be a close question if I say, have you done turning left and right in your previous lessons?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could ask it that way, and yes, the answer would probably be yes. But then you're going to have to mention the mirror, signal, position, speed, look routine, aren't you? So why not just come in straight with the question straight away?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this car, we're trying to get a brief outline of the brief done within, let's say, 6 minutes. Because the brief's got very little importance on the marking sheet at the end. It's what happens on the move.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is the examiner having to say to your PDI in the car park, well, should we go and get some practice then? I'm paying £40 an hour for this, yeah? Because then your PDI is going to feel, oh, sod it, yeah? I've gone on too long, yeah? Don't let your PDI get into that situation. Because then, you know, immediately they're going to have to chuck the book in the back and get moving. So, you know, by giving that brief outline of what we're going to learn today and then get the car moving, because it's what happens on the move is important, yeah? Okay. There's no good your PDI referring back to, do you remember what I said to you in the brief in the car park? Because yes, he's going to go, oh, got a really bad memory, yeah? Because it's when the engine starts that really, you know, that's where it's got to happen, yeah? Because otherwise, if your PDI was to give a perfect brief in the car park, well, then you might as well go upstairs and have a cup of coffee with him, wouldn't you? Because the brief's been so good, the examiner knows you know it all. but the bit he doesn't know is
it's the practical.
Yeah, is can you actually teach it on a vehicle that's moving? So the brief's a brief outline, yeah. So yeah, when you're teaching PDIs, don't fall into a trap of spending hours and hours and hours of their lessons sitting at the side of the road teaching them how to give a brief, yeah? It's a brief outline. If it was reversed around the corner, it's a brief outline of the control, observations and reasonable accuracy. It's a brief outline. And then we must get on and practice it, yeah? Don't forget, at the end of it, the brief could be marked unsatisfactory. And they can still pass. No problems, yeah? But the brief could be marked satisfactory. But if what happened on the move is not satisfactory, they're going to fail. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Yeah? So if you look at on the left side of the sheet, the briefing can be marked satisfactory. But if all the rest of the bits are not covered on the move, then the score is all going to be over under 2s and 3s, isn't it? Does that make sense?
Yeah.